Welcome to the Explainer. So imagine your entire digital life. Photos, documents, everything is locked away in a super high-tech safe. Now, what if I told you there was a tiny, almost invisible flaw in that safe's design? A flaw that could let a complete stranger just walk right in and take it all. Well, today, we're breaking down a critical security vulnerability that did exactly that. All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll talk about what these digital safe boxes even are. Then, we'll find the crack in the wall, the vulnerability itself. After that, we'll get into how the faulty lock works, what's really at stake here, and most importantly, how to secure your own system. And finally, we'll zoom out for a big picture security lesson. Okay, so first up, let's talk about that digital safe box. What is it? And why is it so important to so many people? So think about it. For millions of people and for tons of businesses, the answer is a little device that probably sits in a closet or under a desk. It's called a network attached storage, or a NAS for short. A Synology NAS is basically your own personal private cloud. It's a digital treasure chest that runs its own unique operating system called DSM. It's where you keep everything from precious family photos to critical company documents. The big deal? You are in complete control of it. Now imagine you have that perfect, secure safe, and you discover a tiny, almost invisible crack in the wall. That's pretty much exactly what happened here.
And listen, this wasn't some hacker with a digital sledgehammer trying to bash the lock. Nope, this was way more subtle. It was a flaw in the logic of the lock itself. It meant that under some very specific, kind of weird circumstances, the front door, the very thing meant to keep people out, would just swing wide open.
In the cybersecurity world, every single threat gets its own tracking number. This one is CVE 2025-13392. I know it looks like a random jumble of letters and numbers, but this code is actually super important. It lets security pros all over the globe talk about the same threat and work together to get it fixed. So how on earth could a secure system just let someone waltz right in? What exactly went wrong with the lock? Let's break it down. Every secure system on the planet starts with one thing: authentication. It's the part that asks, hey, are you really who you say you are? Think of it like a bouncer at a club. It's your first and, honestly, most important line of defense. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. See that term, LDAP, distinguished name, or just DN? It sounds super technical, I know, but just think of it as a very specific, unique digital ID card. And in this whole story, that digital ID card is the key to understanding everything. And here it is. This is the entire heist in 4 simple steps. An attacker sends a special kind of message, and in that message, they include one of these valid-looking digital ID cards. The system, our digital bouncer, sees the ID, and because of a tiny mistake in its code, it doesn't do the full security check. It's like a bouncer just glancing at a fake ID and saying, yeah, looks good, go on in. And bam, just like that, a total stranger is inside. So, we know how they get in, but what happens next? Let's talk about the real-world consequences for the millions of people who own these devices. What's actually at stake here? And here's the really scary part. An attacker could do this from anywhere in the world. They don't have to be in your office or your home. They could be on a different continent, sending these specially crafted messages over the internet. And they wouldn't even need your username or password. Once an attacker's in, well, the damage could be huge. They could start changing your settings, spy on your files, disrupt your entire operation, or even worse, they could steal or just flat out delete the very things you were trying to protect in the first place. Okay, enough of this scary stuff. Let's talk about the good news, because unlike some security flaws that are a total nightmare to deal with, this one has a very clear, very direct solution. So this is probably the most important slide of the day. You need to check which version of the operating system DSM you're running. It's simple. If your version number is in the at-risk column, you're vulnerable. If it's in the protected column, you're all good. And the fix? It's beautifully simple. Just update your software. Synology, the company that makes the device, has already released a patch that slams the security door shut. All you have to do is install it. It is, without a doubt, the single most effective thing you can do. Now, beyond that critical update, you can definitely make your system even tougher. It's always a great idea to limit who can even talk to your device over the network in the first place. Keep an eye on your activity logs. And maybe turn off any extra features or services you aren't really using. This one specific flaw in this one specific device, it actually teaches us a much bigger, more universal lesson about digital security. What this really highlights is that even the most complicated, fancy security systems can be totally broken by one tiny mistake in the most basic check, right? If the bouncer at the front door fails, all the guards inside don't matter nearly as much. And this quote from the security analysis just says it all, doesn't it? The simplest defenses are often the most important ones. And in this crazy, fast-moving digital world, keeping your systems updated isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential. And that's our explainer. It's a fascinating and, slightly terrifying look at how one small flaw can have a massive impact. It really leaves us with a final important question. This time, the flaw was in a NAS. But where is the next one hiding? Because flaws like this are everywhere, in our phones, our cars, the software that runs our world. It's a powerful reminder that staying vigilant and up to date isn't just a good idea, it's everything.